Imagine going an entire month without snacking. No mid-morning granola bar, no handful of chips between meetings, no late-night raid of the pantry. For many of us, snacking feels like a normal part of everyday life, maybe even necessary to keep energy levels stable. But what actually happens to your metabolism if you stop snacking for 30 days? Does it slow down? Speed up? Do you burn more fat or store more? Today, we're diving into the science of what really happens inside your body when you give up grazing and stick to meals only. To understand how your metabolism responds, we need to start with one simple fact. Every time you eat, your body switches on a metabolic process called the thermic effect of food. Digestion requires energy, and that energy expenditure gives your metabolism a small temporary boost. This has led to a popular claim that eating more frequently keeps your metabolism revved up. But the reality is more nuanced. While it's true that digestion burns calories, the total boost depends on how much you eat overall, not how many times you spread it out. In other words, three 600-calorie meals create about the same thermic effect as six 300-calorie snacks, provided the foods are similar. Now, this doesn't automatically mean snacking is bad. Snacks can stabilize blood sugar, prevent overeating at meals, and fuel physical activity. But snacking also repeatedly triggers insulin release. Insulin is a hormone that helps move glucose into cells, but it also signals your body to store fat. When insulin levels stay elevated throughout the day, often due to frequent eating, it becomes harder for your body to switch into fat-burning mode. Going snack-free gives your insulin levels longer windows to fall, potentially unlocking different metabolic effects. During the first few days without snacks, the biggest change you'll notice isn't in your metabolism, it's in your hunger. Many people feel hungrier between meals, which isn't surprising. Your body is used to a steady stream of fuel. Ghrelin, the hormone that tells you it's time to eat, tends to rise in predictable waves based on your eating habits. If you normally snack at 3 p.m., your body learns to expect food at that time. When the snack doesn't arrive, ghrelin levels spike, and you feel those unmistakable hunger pangs. The good news is that these hormone patterns are trainable. Within a week or two of stopping snacks, ghrelin's rhythm can adjust, and those intense cravings often fade. As your hunger hormones adapt, your blood sugar patterns begin to shift too. Without frequent spikes from snacks, especially sugary or refined ones, your blood glucose experiences longer, more stable rises and falls. Instead of a roller coaster with sharp peaks and crashes, you get smoother hills. This steadier pattern can help reduce cravings, prevent energy slumps, and reduce the risk of overeating later in the day. It also means your pancreas gets a break from producing so much insulin. Lower and more stable insulin levels are one of the key metabolic changes triggered by eliminating snacks. Around the second week, something interesting starts to happen. With longer periods between meals, your body gradually becomes more efficient at tapping into stored energy. When insulin drops low enough, your cells can begin accessing stored fat as fuel. This doesn't mean you instantly burn more fat just by not snacking, but it does mean your body gets more practice switching between using glucose and fat, depending on what's available. That flexibility, called metabolic flexibility, is considered a sign of good metabolic health. People who rely heavily on constant snacking often find their bodies locked in to glucose burning, making it much harder to efficiently use stored fat. Lower insulin also affects another hormone, glucagon. While insulin stores energy, glucagon releases it. When you go several hours without eating, glucagon rises, signaling your liver to release stored glucose or produce new glucose when needed. Over time, this helps maintain stable blood sugar without requiring constant food intake. For many people, this is the turning point where they stop feeling dependent on snacks to keep their energy up. Their metabolism learns to maintain fuel levels on its own. By the third week without snacking, your hunger hormones, insulin responses, and blood sugar patterns have usually begun to stabilize. It's at this point that many people notice changes in body composition or energy levels. With fewer insulin spikes, your body spends more cumulative time in a fat-burning state. This doesn't necessarily mean rapid weight loss. Overall calorie intake and food quality still matter, but the hormonal environment becomes more favorable for reducing fat storage. At the same time, some people report having more consistent energy, clearer focus, and fewer afternoon crashes. Your metabolism also becomes more predictable. When you snack frequently, your body is constantly switching between fed and fasted states, never spending long in either. Without snacks, your meals stand out more clearly as distinct events. Your metabolic rate rises slightly during meals, then drops into a steadier fasting rhythm afterward. This predictable pattern supports a healthy circadian rhythm, which itself plays a key role in metabolic health. Some studies show that longer breaks between meals can improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation, two major factors that influence long-term metabolic function. Another change that happens after 30 days without snacking is improved digestive efficiency. Your digestive system is designed to work in cycles, not non-stop. Constant grazing can keep your gut in a perpetual state of processing, leaving less time for the body's cleanup mode, which involves repairing cells, clearing waste, and resetting digestive functions. The migrating motor complex, a wave-like movement that sweeps debris out of your digestive tract, only activates when you haven't eaten for a few hours. Without snacks interrupting this cycle, digestion may feel lighter, bloating may decrease, and your gut may function more smoothly. It's also worth talking about something you might not expect: improved appetite regulation. Many people assume that not snacking will lead to uncontrollable hunger and overeating at meals, but often the opposite happens. When your body adapts to longer gaps between eating, it gets better at recognizing genuine hunger rather than reacting to boredom, habit, or emotional cues. Insulin sensitivity can improve, which means your body responds more effectively to the nutrients you eat. Leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, may also work more efficiently. Over the course of 30 days, many people discover that they naturally feel satisfied with balanced meals and no longer crave constant food input. Now, does giving up snacking actually speed up your metabolism? Not exactly, not in the sense of burning more calories at rest. What it does do is promote conditions that support metabolic health: lower insulin, improved flexibility, better hormonal rhythms, and increased ability to burn fat between meals. These changes aren't about revving up your metabolism, but about helping your body operate in a cleaner, more efficient cycle. For many people, that efficiency feels like higher energy, sharper mental clarity, and less reliance on quick hits of sugar or caffeine. There's another important point. Not snacking can also stabilize your relationship with hunger. In a world where food is constantly available, it's easy to treat hunger as an emergency. But mild hunger is a normal, healthy signal, not a crisis. Learning to tolerate it and understand it helps you develop a better sense of what your body really needs. After 30 days without snacking, many people report that hunger feels less dramatic, less urgent, and more predictable. That shift alone can reshape your eating habits long term. Of course, the effects of cutting out snacks can vary depending on what your meals look like. If your meals are balanced with protein, fiber, and healthy fats, going snack-free often feels surprisingly easy after the adjustment period. If your meals lack nutrients or are too small, you might experience fatigue or irritability. But those issues come from inadequate meals, not from the lack of snacks themselves. The key point is that your metabolism is fully capable of thriving with 3 or even 2 well-balanced meals per day. So what does the 30-day summary look like? In the first week, hunger signals and habits shift. In the second week, blood sugar and insulin begin stabilizing, and your body becomes more comfortable accessing stored energy. By weeks 3 and 4, metabolic flexibility improves, digestion may feel smoother, energy becomes more consistent, and fat-burning windows expand naturally between meals. Your metabolism is not speeding up, but it is functioning with greater stability, efficiency, and hormonal balance. Ultimately, giving up snacking for 30 days is less about restriction and more about rhythm. Your body thrives on clear cycles: times of feeding and times of fasting, times of storing and times of releasing. By eliminating snacks, you give your metabolism room to breathe, reset, and work the way it's designed to. It's not magic, and it's not a hack. It's simply aligning your eating pattern with how your body naturally operates. If you've ever wondered whether your metabolism would crumble without constant snacks, the science says the opposite. It becomes more resilient, more flexible, and more balanced. And even if you choose to add snacks back in after 30 days, you'll likely do so with a better awareness of what your body truly needs when it's genuinely hungry, and how to fuel yourself more intentionally. That's the real metabolic upgrade.